All the angels in heaven, surround me, protect me, guide me. Help me see what I'm supposed to see. Help me hear what I'm supposed to hear. And help me say what I'm supposed to say. This is a prayer that I speak verbally out loud before each reading with the intention of working with the Creator, God, Jesus, Source, whoever or however you resonate with where we come from and who is watching and guiding us as we work through our lives. Today I'm discussing the difference between the types of readings that I offer. As a psychic medium, I am a psychic and also a medium. And you can be both, but there are people who are psychics and not mediums. So I have a psychic service that I offer, and it's kind of fun because it's usually about your life and decisions that you've made, things that you're considering doing, more light and fluffy content or discussions, and very important for emotional support. And then there's mediumship. And inside of my shop, you'll find I offer different mediumship readings. I offer regular mediumship, which is where we talk with a loved one in spirit. And we can't always guarantee a specific spirit's going to come through, especially if it's within the first year of their passing. So within the first few weeks, up to about 6 weeks, they're still here and they're trying to comfort you. In almost all of my readings, they're happy. They do have regret sometimes and concern for your well-being, and that you're not happy, and they want you to be happy. They are no longer in pain, however they passed, because with the body you lose the sensation of the body and the suffering that they experienced. And then I have other offerings. Oh, and just to continue on that, after about 6 weeks, they go for a life review where they get to experience fully every action that they did in life and every experience from the person that the act was. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it was nice activity, a kindness, an act of kindness, or maybe you got upset with someone on the road because they cut you off and you said some things, or maybe you weren't the nicest person at the store to the checker or the server at a restaurant, and you get to experience the person's experience of your action, which is why it's a good idea to clean up your act in life and do your best to always lead with unconditional love, no matter who you're thinking about or interacting with. After about 6 months of being crossed over, I've been shown, or they get to kind of choose what they're going to do. A lot of spirits do go into service, especially those who've committed suicide. I've been shown that what people perceive as limbo, probably artists that depicted this act of suicide, and there's a gathering of spirits. They do congregate together and team up to help support other people who are considering suicide, and they don't feel worthy right away of being within God's presence, so they go into service to make up for the karmic demand of their action. So it isn't a shunning by God. God forgave them immediately, and they are immediately embraced and blanketed with compassion of the spirit world. Once they cross over or pass away, they are supported with gentle, loving, unconditional love, and it is their own judgment of themselves that blocks them from moving further. I hope that brings comfort to some of you, because there's a lot of beliefs that are not what I'm being shown. Heaven is of your own making, hell is of your own making, and it is our own inability to forgive ourselves that locks us away from God. Once we cross into, or just go beyond the little veil that is between us, because there is no separation between us. It isn't some far off place. We are all within the same nuclei of heaven. We are all connected by a cord from God. We're all like a piece of God that broke off, and we can't escape affecting one another. So you want to really make sure your acts are kind and loving as possible. You'll have a better experience if you do. Then we have medical mediumship, which is an empath or an empathic gift where I can feel and see within the body. I also have the ability to feel and see and experience, per se, how your loved ones passed away. This is part of my evidence in a reading, because my body will physically feel the same way that your loved one felt when they were preparing to transition. So these all may sound kind of strange if you have not spent your life as an empath, which I would wake up and have a severe pain somewhere. And during my lifetime, I went to a lot of doctors to try to figure out what was wrong with me, and they didn't find anything wrong with me. That was just, I was feeling someone else's body. Now, and as I aged, I learned that I wasn't the one having the pain. It was me experiencing the pain of someone else. And the truest, most purest, and most divine way of showing compassion is to feel the pain of someone else literally, and then help them heal. And that is the medical mediumship service that I offer. I'm able to feel and kind of see inside of your body and help you figure out what's wrong. I definitely do not claim to be a doctor. I am listening and supported by your loved ones and by a collective of doctors that have joined into my collective. And it's quite something, a very special experience, which helps you to kind of figure out what's going on inside your body, what you need to do. And I never, ever tell you to not continue your care with your physician. So make sure that you do not jump ahead. Even though it seems really magical when you're in the medical mediumship process, because it does seem pretty magical. I see the faces of people when we do the Zoom recordings, and they're shocked that I can feel exactly where they're hurting in that moment. And sometimes I feel an illness coming on before they ever know it, only for them to discover it within an hour or maybe a little bit longer after that. And then they realize that I was experiencing their body. So it's a magical experience. It is a very big demand on my body, as I do feel the body, and frequently up to a month before a client ever comes to me, I end up having the symptoms ahead of time. And it kind of gets me ready, helps me to understand what that person is experiencing, so that it isn't me guessing how they feel. I don't have to say, how do you feel? I just say how I feel, they feel, and it's kind of shocking when they do witness that. And then there's healing that takes place if you do the work, the things that spirit, your spirit guides, your loved ones in spirit they work with me. They help me to understand as well and participate in your learning about yourself, because a lot of people don't even know their ancestors. They don't know that they had different illnesses in their background, and that comes up. And you may be adopted and have deceased parents that you never met, and they come in. It's quite magical. Then I have another service called guilt regression, and guilt regression is kind of cleaning up the subconscious mind, which you can think of as your oversoul or who you really are. If you tend to have real difficulty in maintaining relationships with people, if you tend to lose your temper, go off the handle really fast when it doesn't seem as if you really should be that upset, if you end relationships abruptly and walk away from people easily and just have always never felt as though people respect you, it is possible and very likely that you have some guilt. And a lot of people will be thinking, what do you mean guilt? Something happened to me. I was treated badly. Why are you saying I have guilt? I was yelled at. I was abused as a child, and now you're saying I have guilt? So what it is sometimes super silly, like a 3-year-old yelling at their parent and then they felt guilty. It doesn't mean it had to be justified guilt. It's just guilt that gets stuck in your craw, stuck in your subconscious mind. So you don't age. You don't get past 2 years old subconsciously. And how do you act? How do you navigate through the world when you're 2? You don't even have verbal skills. So it ends up representing you not able to speak, not able to talk calmly when charged or challenged by someone who is similar to the person that you feel guilty for treating a certain way. So I'll give you a little example, a little tryout. Imagine yourself standing in front of your mother. And how old are you? Don't overthink it. And now that year, that age, there's something you feel guilty for. And it may be related and tied together undeniably with something negative that happened to you. So once you figure out what it is you feel guilty for, no matter how silly it is based on how young you were when it happened, you then apologize, and you do this with the person. If they've passed away in spirit, you do it with them, and they get a healing in the afterlife as well. So it's a beautiful, incredibly life-changing process that was downloaded to me in 2010, and it helped me heal. I was very reactive before that. I had lots of reasons for it, lots of suffering in my life, lots of things that you'd probably just feel sorry for me if I told you. But in each of these experiences, I then also reacted, and how I reacted was stuck with me because I lead a life of love. I try never to ever be mean, ever. And this is a goal I've had my entire life. And so when I was begging, because I'm like, I do not want to, I was divorced at the time, still am. And I was like, I do not want to go into a relationship, this hyperactive or hyper-reactive person. I want to have a really good relationship. So I begged Spirit for an answer, for a way to heal over some of the most horrific experiences that a person should ever have to go through. How can I heal? How can I forgive? How can I arrive at forgiveness? And this was given to me, this process. And thankfully, I got to do it when my parents were still alive. I got to actually work through the process with a living person, which is a great opportunity for you if you can do that. But you can also, with my mediumship capability, work through it with your spirit, with the spirit that you had the issue with. And it's the people that have gone through this process, this therapy, this psychic reading, they're just blown away by the change in themselves. And they just walk around calm. And I am so much calmer than I was. My life is so much more peaceful than it ever was. So that's another mediumship. And then I also can do pet readings as well. Pets that are still living and those that have crossed over the Rainbow Bridge. And they have messages. I've had horses push their nose in and birds fly in, and it's quite something. It's just know this, they have souls. They are with you, and they run around. I saw and continue to see one of my cats. It was my daughter's cat, Max, and no matter where I've lived, he continues to pop in every once in a while, see his little spirit run around the floor. And that's with my eye, not with my inner eye. That's part of what I experience, is that I also see full-bodied apparitions. I've had people appear and be in with a group of other people, and no one else sees them but me. Those some stories for another day. So we have mediumship, psychic readings, and you can always ask to not allow spirit to come in if you don't feel comfortable. And so we have psychic readings, mediumship, medical mediumship, guilt regression, and pet readings. So those are the services that I offer. I also help people find missing items. Sometimes it's quite quick, and it's an interesting experience for that too. So I also help people locate and determine if someone missing is still alive. I've done that a few times, and those are really challenging. So just know that I am here. I have a compassionate heart. I know that if you've found me, that you are likely dealing with grief and or struggles in your life. And I couldn't remember what was funny that I was talking to my daughter about, and now it's all coming clear to me. When you talk to yourself, and you do have a higher self, your oversoul, give that part of you a name. My name is Claire with no I. And I decided to name my higher self Clarity. And that is what I do. I am gifted with the ability to be a conduit for spirit and angels and magic. It feels magical to help you reach clarity on whatever you need to have cleared up. And I do so with the utmost gratitude, and I'm always just so grateful when people trust me with this most sensitive life that they're living. So with that, I bless you. And it's good to bless yourself as well. Bless yourself for a healthy, happy, prosperous, and much better 2026 than 2025. I'm here for you however you need. Feel free to reach out by sending me a private message in whichever app you're viewing this, and also visit my website, which is my name, ClaireRowley.com, and there's no I in Claire. So, love you, and looking forward to getting to know you better for those of you who are new to me. Thank you so much for watching, and please like and share and subscribe to whichever platform you're watching me on so that you get updates whenever I go live or create new content for you to enjoy. God bless, and love and light.